Hey folks, this is Admiral Revan here. I'm hoping you're doing well. Merry Christmas, and I'm hoping everyone is having a good time. As well as today is Boxing Day here in Australia, and I have to admit it is a bit of a weird one since that we're celebrating a bit of a different day down here. But it's a good relaxing holiday, no doubt the less. I have to say that this is a time of year for us to sit back, relax, and enjoy the festivities. But at the same time, that for those who are going out doing the Boxing Day sales here in Australia, please go have fun and enjoy yourselves while you're at it. There's a lot of good opportunity with Boxing Day sales down here in Australia. It's a bit of a tradition where people will be able to get some great discounted sales as well as getting some items before Christmas and actually get the after Christmas sales and everything, and it's a great opportunity all around. So just want to start off by saying thanks everybody. Now honestly, when I've been looking through all the situations we've been going through, I just want to start off by acknowledging that I have heard some bad news about what's been going on with the typhoon over the Philippines, and there's been some horrific damages, loss of life, and a few other things been going on. My thoughts and prayers go to the community out there in the Philippines. I hope things will get better for you, and I understand that you're all going through a bit of a rough patch, and a lot of friends of mine that I know, including my family and relatives, have either lost friends or loved ones that I know, and from that great tragedy, and I do feel sorry about what's going on. So my condolences and our thoughts and prayers go to the Philippines and its community out there. So I just want to start off by acknowledging as well that 2021 and 2020 for us has been a really tiresome, very, very tough time for all of us, mentally, physically, and emotionally out there, and financially as well. A lot of people have been struggling to cope with everything that's been going on, being thrown at us, and I understand that. I hope 2022 will be a better year for all of us. Let's just stay focused on a better journey for 2022 for all of us in the near future. So that is the most important thing, to stay in touch with your loved ones and do what you can working together as a team. With that being said, I also want to acknowledge that Christmas is a time for reconciliation, giving, and celebrating in some way, shape, or form, and being there for one another is the most important of all. So my friends, please stay safe, take care, have a great Christmas. If you're traveling around the world or locally in your country, please drive safe or take care of yourselves wherever you're going. Make sure you keep yourself isolated if you need to, and do the right thing for yourselves. And I hope that 2022 will be a great year for all of us. So we're going to be covering some interesting topics here. So the biggest thing I'm going to be covering in this video is in regarding to the Christmas, Boxing Day sales as well as New Year's sales for World of Warships. And honestly, there's some great sales out there. I will cover that for you. Also, the GROBER Kurfurst and the Khabarovsk. Now, there's been a lot of discussion and controversy about those two warships. Just to give you a brief rundown, they're both Tier 10 warships in the tech tree for the Soviet and the German line. The GROBER Kurfurst has been around for quite a while, same with the Khabarovsk. Both very good Tier 10 warships, and they all have their pros and negatives. But the biggest thing is that the most recent announcement that Wargaming is actually making the moves to remove those ships, but they're going to become premium warships in the near future in version 11.0, and that is coming out in the new year. So they're going to be replaced with the Preussen and Delny, which is the two new warships that I'll be covering in a bit of a detail so that we're understanding where we're at. Also, I'm going to be covering a bit of a lengthy discussion about 11.0, as well as the Yamagiri details, what's been going on with that thing. And also, for those who are interested at the moment in the sales right now, there's an Italian battleship at Tier 9 called the Giuseppe Verdi. Beautiful warship all around. I don't own one yet, but I will be soon, and I'm looking forward to getting it in the near future. The new warships, the Italian destroyers and the Pan-Asian cruisers coming soon, will be coming out in the near future. Also, the asymmetric battles is coming out soon in the new year, and as well as the anti-submarine warfare ASW armament and the subs discussion will be covered in this video. There will be a bit of a discussion about the Lunar Year discussion for next year, and it's going to be an interesting one, so I'll talk about that a little bit in length, and also, last but not least, the summary of 2021 and our hopes for 2022. So, where to begin? Well, let's just start off with the basics, shall we? I mean, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one here. So, we are here covering at the beginning of talking about Christmas and also the Boxing Day sales and stuff like that. So, let's go ahead and check that out. So, as you notice, there's a lot of good news articles that's come out recently. Be sure to definitely go through all the news articles and make sure that you have read them and saying that you could be participating in the events, because you never know, you might be getting a free warship or free doubloons, flags, anything like that. And honestly, this is a beautiful chance for you to get some diminishing returns, super rewards. You get some super containers, it's a great opportunity, my friends. This is where, you get to sit back, relax, and enjoy it all. And honestly, it is a great opportunity for you to get something for free. All you need to do is just grind the time, do the time, and get the missions done. Also, there's also a few other things going on. Time to make your wishes come true. This is obviously the Santa container event that has actually been out for a while now, and honestly, if you get any of these containers for yourself from the premium shop, I definitely would encourage you to get at least a small pack for yourselves. Try your chance and give it a go. I will be honest that I was very, very fortunate to win a tier 10 Smolensk from the North American server on my NA account just for fun, and I was absolutely blown away. A tier 10 in Smolensk is a very rare warship to get. It's a Soviet cruiser. It's a great fire-starting warship equivalent to Atlanta. So if you like the Atlanta tier 7, the American cruiser, and you like fire-starting stuff, why not? You may as well get the Smolensk. And it's got smoke, and it's got torps, so you can't go wrong with that thing, honestly. They've got a good variety of warships out there. Honestly, there's a lot of variety of warships that you can get and can't get anymore on the normal premium shop at this stage. And I will say this very much, that if you get the Smolensk, that's a rare ship. Okay, so I can tell you a whole bunch of rare ships, and I'll put that in a separate video just for you, so that you can actually check it out for yourselves and understand which one is the rare ships, which one's the common ships available, and then hope for the best in acquiring them. Honestly, there's a very good long list of ships out there that you can probably hope for the best in getting, and you never know. Some people that I know have actually acquired at least 6 or 7 good decent warships, and honestly from a mixture of different tiers as well, so it's great. So when we're talking about and regarding to these Christmas sales and bundles, so you go to the premium shop like so over here, and then once you go to the premium shop, you'll see the first featured items is now on the store ready to go. So as you can see, you got the Christmas containers, as well as the Giuseppe Verdi, as well as the New Year camouflage, and also this offer for the premium time with the opportunity to have with special flags. Now this one here is actually a pretty decent bundle It's got a lot of special flags in this one for the New Horizons. If you're interested into that sort of thing, it's actually worth the price for that sort of thing. These special flags have incredible bonuses for your commanders, as well as base XP, free XP, and credit returns. And they're actually very, very good in the long term. If you're not too worried about that sort of thing, and you got the doubloons, just something you need to buy 360 days worth of premium time, that is actually pretty decent for yourself. As we know, it's 365 days in a year, but you never know with your luck about how many premium time events you can get throughout the year to actually get your account extended further. So honestly, it's a definite, worthwhile opportunity for you to do that for yourselves. That is pretty much, like a good opportunity with the Christmas, Boxer Day, and New Year sales that they got going on. I wish that they had a bit more stuff on there on the different discounted price. Like for example, when you go to customizations, we all know that there are a lot of people out there are into flags. So flag bundles should be at least a small discounted price, just something for a one-off for the season anyway. But they always have been like that anyhow, at that price. But that's just me. I mean, like, I just think it would be a great opportunity anyhow. If you click on specials, you'll see all the specials that's going on right now at this stage. Okay, so now we are going to be covering about some interesting news most recently that is happening within World of Warships about everything that you need to know about the battleship situation as well as the Khabarovsk. So we're going to be bringing that up for you right now. So this is the article. It's called Methods of Distribution, and here it is right now. So the methods of distribution, my friends, is a pretty interesting article. It's basically covering about in regarding to what is happening with the GROBER Kurfurst and the Khabarovsk, what's happening with them. They basically are talking about the new release of the Pan-Asian cruisers that's coming out soon. So this is, a lot of things are going to be happening with the release of 11.0. 11.0 sounds like to me there's a lot of things happening left, right, and center, and we only can do so much. Alright, so we can only handle so much what we've been given, and it's actually a perfect opportunity for you to figure out and judge it for yourself in terms of whatever you think is suitable in the long term. Alright, so here we are. They're talking about the incomparable, what's going on with the British battleship they got going on for that thing. They got to make some balancing changes on that warship. Mind you, with 6 508mm guns, this is actually a vessel to be reckoned with. It's going to be interesting on the battlefield to see how good it is against any other battleship on the fleet at tier 10. Mind you though, that the ship will be available only for steel. So that's an interesting one. So Forest Sherman is going to be an interesting warship. The Forest Sherman is going to be a very decent warship to get as well too. I mean, like, it is a tier 10 American destroyer that they've been talking about for quite a while. But they have the option of HE shells as well as SAP shells, which is, I have to admit, a very interesting warship to hear about a mixture of, both going to happen at the same time, both SAP and HE. So honestly, I don't know what to say when I think about it. When I hear about it, I just go like, okay. So honestly, that is my first impression. So I'll be waiting to see in more detail about this warship when it comes out in the near future. It's got smoke as well as hydroacoustics and defensive AA. It's going to be pretty good for a cold warship. The Sevastopol, different warship all round. It's a small battleship at tier 10. Well, it's supposed to be, it's like a cruiser actually, by the looks of it. But it's going to be an interesting warship for us to check out in the near future as well too. And then there's a Pan-American Atlantico, tier 8. It's actually going to be very interesting for us to check out as well. And the Atlantico, funnily enough, will be the next dockyard warship after the Marlborough. So the Marlborough, whatever that British battleship it is, I mean, like, it's nice at the moment, but it'll be interesting to see for tier 8 warship for the Americans. Well, Pan-Americans in a way. The Kurfurst and the Khabarovsk situation now. Well, several months ago, I mean, like, they were talking about it. They made an announcement that the warships are going to be changing, and they did. And they had a couple of good articles about it. So the good thing about these two warships, they'll still be available as cold warships for you to get, just like how they do with the Moskva. There'll be some compensation for it though, for the Kurfurst and also the Khabarovsk if you already have them already in your port. So honestly, it's nice to have, but we'll see. I mean, like, the alternative option with that, as I think about it, you can sell the Kurfurst and the Khabarovsk, leave it empty, and leave it research until the official patch released. And basically, if I'm led to believe in the right direction, that those ships will come for free in your port anyhow. If I'm wrong, well, I was led to believe that from a couple sources, and that is when they were talking about it on the World of Warships stream, as well as on the previous articles that they talked about as well. So definitely all this information will be given to you in the link below for you to read at your own leisure. Alright, so the changes to the Yamagiri, and this is where the Yamagiri is going to be rebalanced. They have done a bit of a difference in the torpedo modules, and I have to say that it's actually a little bit different to what I was being led to believe. But I haven't played the Yamagiri, and judging from what I'm reading here, it is a bit of an interesting decision making for making the range reload for the torpedoes increased a little bit in the benefit side of things for people to use their weapons and utilize that ship very well. So it's actually pretty decent. Some of the modifications actually is pretty good for more in damage output as well as speed, but you have to admit it's actually an interesting change, that is for sure. Also, there's an announcement that's been hidden in there most recently, and they're talking about, you know, visual improvements for the different maps like Trap, Tears of Desert, Warrior's Path, and Solomon Islands. And honestly, that's still in work in progress. All the details that I'm seeing right here in the visual side effects, the wargaming for World of Warships art department has literally blown this out of the water to a whole new level. It really has. As you can see, the level of detail on what they've been doing with the water, the shallow effects, everything, it looks spectacular. Everything that you see with the buildings and the trees, the vegetation, the snow, everything, including the waves, the water effects and everything. It looks more realistic, and honestly, it is a step in the right direction. It really is. It really is a very big step in the right direction. And I just have to admit, as a person who's played the game for 6 years now, I look forward to these positive changes because this game deserves a lot of good positive changes. And honestly, just by looking at it, it's going to be a great outcome. There was an announcement that they'd been talking about in regarding to the changes to the test ships and Soviet aircraft carriers. And honestly, I have to say, the Soviet aircraft carriers feel very ridiculously overpowered right now in the game. And it's been good to an extent. It really has. But honestly, I never seen myself get totally annihilated by a Soviet aircraft carrier before. I first time whinged about it, about the Germans and the Japanese were overpowered when they first, got modified and tweaked a fair bit. But now it's the Soviets' turn. It's funny though. But just by looking at this, everything that you're seeing here, they always, going to be tweaked, changed, modified with, better improvements on the firing modes, as well as maneuverability, reload times, damage control party, and a few other things as well. Honestly, there's a lot of good stuff on there that I think is actually going to be pretty beneficial. Now, they had been talking a lot about it regarding to the submarines. I think what I really want to talk about is also the significant news announcement about in regarding to Pan Asian Cruiser Line. So the Pan Asian Cruiser Line that's coming out soon in the near future, there is actually going to be an opportunity for you to actually access those warships and start grinding it in celebration to the Lunar Year. So this is basically a good way to celebrate the Lunar Year for 2022. There's going to be a lot of stuff in there involved with different ships. Basically, you got the Champon, the Harbin, the Sejong and Jian, and the Dalian. All are very good warships. They all have different, specs and abilities, and they definitely have excellent camo, as well as some commemoratory flags and emblems and so forth. And it is, the Dragon port is going to be updated with a nice look and feel. And I have tested this on the PTS. Go check out the PTS, by the way, my friends, because the PTS is the best way to go. They have a lot of new ships opportunity out there for you to use, and check out the new asymmetric battle mode as well. Because covering that topic, it's basically, it's going to be a mixture of Tier 9 and 10s, comprised of 6 to 8 ships. And then Team 2 will have 7 to 8 with 9 to 12 ships, and it's actually going to be pretty good. You're going to get some battle tokens for participating in the event, and that will only happen on tier 7 to 8 warships only. I don't know if it was an oversight from Wargame's part, but I think from what I'm reading, it is basically you're trying to reap the rewards and take it in. And honestly, that's probably the best way to do it. The rental super ships and random battles. Now, it is very, very hard, honestly, to please the player base about this. But I will say this very openly, that I have seen rental super ships and random battles beforehand, and honestly, it wasn't the best approach. Judging from what I've been reading on this article, it'll be making the new perspective of random battles taken into a whole new level with super warships on the battlefield. If you are seeing it already in ranked and had been participating in ranked battles and see what they are like in ranked battles, imagine that at a greater scale for random battles. And honestly, grand battles is also a situation that we had done before with a separate game mode specifically made for it, and people were finding it a bit hard to go up against them. So it's actually pretty interesting. The submarine changes is, the sonar ping and the homing torpedo mechanics have been updated. Definitely read this all in more detail, because they have fixed up the detectability changes as well as how torps are used in the game. And that's actually a pretty good, indication that they're making some serious good changes. And I'm hoping it stays that way. I really do. There's also new content that'll be coming out in the near future. There'll be some encyclopedia medals. And honestly, that's actually interesting. He played talk. Well, I don't know about that, but it's an interesting reward system there. But the Plymouth is getting a different camouflage as well, called the Griffin, and also the Yukon is getting something as well too. The camouflage called the Sackville that is finally coming together, and also the Geobukasign, this is for the Chongmu. But honestly, there are going to be some interesting new commanders, flags, and rewards for everybody. Honestly, it's an interesting way to celebrate. Also, you get a Grandmaster Collector emblem if you reach to 500 warships later down the track. So honestly, that's pretty damn awesome. Okay. So the Giuseppe Verdi is only getting one minor change for the action time to be reduced for the smoke generator. The new warships is in testing for the Italian destroyer line. Now, this is actually pretty full on. The Italian destroyers are pretty much coming into play right now. So before we talk more about them, I will jump back to the Giuseppe Verdi. Now, the Giuseppe Verdi is acquirable in the premium shop as well as the armory. And basically, when you go to the armory, you see these awesome new sales going on, and then you see the Giuseppe Verdi. If you get this big bundle, which is about 19,300, it's equivalent to buying a tier 9 outright. And basically, you get some flags and 200 plus XP missions, and that's actually pretty decent. A 12-point commander, a port slot, and 11 million, just a little over 11 million in-game credits. That's actually not bad. It can be earned that much in every battle type except for training battles, which is pretty decent. That's actually pretty decent all around. The Giuseppe Verdi is a very nice Italian battleship, and basically it has smoke, heals, as well as spotter aircraft and fighter aircraft. Very decent warship all around, and it is actually, pretty fun to get. So you can also get the Santa containers. So Santa containers are there, very, very fun to get. but yes. But yeah, definitely go check it out. Super ships is actually very decent to get once you're doing ranked battles, and you get some tokens out of it, and that's okay. Alright, so we are going to be talking about in regarding to one interesting topic, and that is the Italian warships that is in development stage. Alright, so the Italian warships, they started as like low as tier 2, funnily enough, and it's actually pretty decent to get. So it is actually pretty decent to get. They're all tier 2s, and going from tier 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 9, 10. They all have different, names, and honestly, all of them have something in common. So they look pretty nice, the design of them, but they all have different abilities, strengths, and weaknesses, and definitely go check it out. But yes, and also there'll be an Italian destroyer tier 7 that you can get as a premium, and also the Atlantico Pan American warship there. Now, if you're wondering about in regarding to the German battleship, the Kurfurst, and also the Khabarovsk, I will highly recommend you to go and have a look at Notser. His video is pretty good about it, the summary of it, about the difference between the GROBER Kurfurst and the Khabarovsk, and what they were being replaced with. He will tell you about the strengths and weaknesses of them all, and definitely go check them out, because it's actually a very, very informative video based on those topics right there. So that is pretty much the summary of it all, of what is going on at this stage. But honestly, it is pretty full on. I will show you the new lunar port for the new year. Okay, so this is the new lunar port for the new year. As you can see, that you got a brilliant, nice crystallized look and feel into the game, the content and everything. And honestly, it looks very, very sharp, very clear, and actually pretty well detailed. So you can actually check it out. This is available on the PTS right now. So go ahead, check it out for yourselves. You can actually check the combat missions. You can check what you can do. I mean, like, you see, like, you get some interesting missions there that you can do. Okay, it's all got all the super ships there. There's the PTS rewards and battle tokens as well, and all to do with asymmetric battles. And at the moment of the stage, you can just grind it up and work your way across. It's very nice though. I have to say, it's very nice. But yeah. So it's coming down to the summary of what I think about, in 2021 to 2022. Now, a lot of things have happened, my friends, about everything that's been going on with World of Warships. Now, honestly, World of Warships to me has been going through a lot of changes, both good and bad. And despite of everything that's been happening, they definitely have done a better job right now at the stage in preparation for the lead up for 2022. But they have to deliver it and maintain that promise that they have to deliver from where they stuffed up. we're also still holding them back in regarding to all the promises that they shouldn't be doing, like for example operations, different UI interface, and a few other things that we have given them feedback on improving the content for the game, as well as their own reputation for themselves, to communicate and be more proactive better than they were before. And honestly, if they can do it, I mean, like, I can see this game going pretty well in the long term. But yeah, so definitely go check out the dev blogs. I mean, like, in the near future, folks, the dev blogs is the best source of information. Blog.worldofwarships.com is the best way to go. Go check it out, because it has a list of information on there that is beneficial for you and for everyone. And at the end of the day, it's all about having fun and enjoying this game together. But it looks like after 10.11 has been and done with the game in the near future, there will be a lot of opportunities later on down the track. So yeah, definitely you'll love what you're going to see in the near future. So this brings down to the close of this video. Hopefully in 2022 it's going to be a better year for all of us, and I really am looking forward to it, and so should you. But my friends, thanks again for supporting the channel and everything. I'm hoping to see you in 2022. Until then, I will be doing a couple more videos about in regarding to the Santa containers, to explain in depth about the rare ships that you should be hoping to get for. And then I'll be doing a couple other videos on other things that I'll be covering as well too. Until then, good winds and fair seas, captains. I'll see you on the next stream. Take care and have a good Christmas, New Year. And until then, have a blast, my friends. Stay safe.